Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan, and today we're going to talk about how we're connecting Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, Power BI together through data with the Common Data Service. My team and I, we believe in the transformative power of data and how that data, when it flows through our applications and our business processes, has the opportunity to truly transform our businesses and our daily lives. And so let's start by talking about data. Data is central to what we know. It allows us to act through Power Apps. It allows us to automate using Power Automate. It allows us to analyze with Power BI, and then we can chat and interact with that data through Power Virtual Agents. And that data comes from one of two places. It can come from connectors, or it can come from the Common Data Service, also known as CDS. And so let's talk about these two types of data. We have data that lives outside of the Power Platform, that's external data. And then we have data that lives within the Power Platform, or internal data. That external data is brought to us by connectors, and data internal to the Power Platform is stored within the Common Data Service. So let's talk about why we might use these two different types of data providers and the types of applications that we can build with them. When we're able to use connectors, we're able to connect to data almost wherever it lives. However, the way that we can use that data is somewhat limited in that we can only use it in certain types of applications, as you can see on your screen. When we place our data within the Common Data Service, because we have a rich understanding of the shape of that data and the behavior of that data, we allow you to build the broadest set of applications on the Power Platform so that you're able to get the most mileage out of your data and build the most comprehensive, rich, and robust end-to-end experiences for your users. So why might you use external data using connectors? First and foremost, it's easy. A lot of times that data already exists. It might reside in a system of record like SAP. It might exist in a SQL server. And so it makes a lot of sense for you to simply take and build an application over the top of that data exactly where it lives. The other part of it is, in many cases, that data already has a home. Your system of record for ERP data is SAP. And so it doesn't make sense to move that data around or shuffle it or move it to some other place just for the sake of doing it. It makes sense to build an application over the top of that data exactly where it lives. Now, when we think about connectors, we have over 400 different connectors that allow you to connect to your data where it is. Our connectors, many of them can operate in a hybrid mode using an on-prem data gateway, which allows you to connect your applications, which are running in the cloud, to your data, which lives on premises. And then finally, if a connector doesn't exist for your data, you can always build a custom connector. Now, why might you look at using the Common Data Service? First and foremost, it's smart. It understands the type of your data, it understands the way your different pieces of data relate to one another, as well as understands how the different components of your application interact with one another. Item number two is it scales. The Common Data Service is built to support many, many terabytes of your data to support your applications. And then item number three is it is secure. It is designed from the ground up to host, hold, and secure your company's most sensitive data. So let's dig into what the Common Data Service is or what it aims to do. The Common Data Service, number one, easily structures. Number two, a variety of data, meaning data of any shape and size, be it relational, non-relational, file, or image data. And three, business logic, to be clever or intelligent over the top of your data. To four, support interconnected applications and processes where people interact with the same data across multiple applications without placing that data in silos. In five, a secure and compliant manner. And so if we take a look at what's inside the box, First of all, we always start with the API, the Common Data Service API. This is an OData API. It's API first in nature, and that's the exact same API that Power Apps, Automate, BI, Virtual Agent, or Xamarin, or even Visual Studio if you're a pro dev, interact with as you're building applications. Beneath that API, we have our security layer with rich and robust authentication, authorization, and auditing. Below that, we have our business logic, things like jobs, like plugins, which allow you to run custom C# code in our pipeline, synchronous workflows, dupe detection, which layers over the top of our data layer, things like data catalog, reporting, mobile offline, support for the common data model, which layers over the top of our storage subsystem, whether that's relational data that's stored in SQL, files and blobs, log data, search data, which we'll come back to in a few minutes, or data lake. We understand the right way to store your data in the most efficient and performant way possible. And then finally, we make it possible to integrate your CDS environment with Azure so that there are no cliffs for your professional developers. This ranges from pushing your events to Event Hub, to Service Bus, invoking webhooks, or exporting your data to either SQL or Azure Data Lake. And so a lot of times people say, well, the Common Data Service, how does that fit with Azure? Well, the Common Data Service runs on Azure. I love being an Azure customer. And when we look at what we do in Azure and how we use Azure, it all starts with a single endpoint. This is that API endpoint that we spoke about a slide ago. Once again, that API endpoint being what's consumed by Power Apps, by Power Automate, by virtual agents, or Power BI. And beneath that API endpoint, we have a load balancer that routes requests to a bunch of different VM scale sets in Azure, a bunch of web servers for handling and servicing those OData API requests, jobs for handling asynchronous processing, our sandbox servers for hosting and running customer-provided C# code that runs within our processing pipeline, and our reporting servers, which handle paginated reports. We then have a variety of storage services that we use to persist your data in the most efficient and performant way possible, whether that's SQL Elastic Pools for relational data, Azure Storage and blobs for file or image data, Cosmos DB for non-relational or log data, Search for search indexes, we'll come back to that in a minute, or Azure Data Lake for storing big data. We use all of these services behind the scenes, storing your data in the best possible way without you needing to worry about it. And then, of course, we support extending your application in Azure, whether that's through Azure Functions, Azure Kubernetes Service, Event Hub, Service Bus, Data Lake. It is possible for you to extend your applications as a pro dev using a variety of Azure services. And so what I'd now like to do is share with you some of the new things that we have with the Common Data Service. And the first thing that I want to talk about is Project Oakdale and Microsoft Teams. We love Teams, and it's a good thing, given that we all spend so much of our time on Teams these days. When we look at what recent events have led to, it's driven a very, very rapid change in how we work each day, with more and more people using Teams on a day-to-day basis, and more people using the Power Platform embedded within Teams. And we see this not just in our metrics quantitatively, but we also see this qualitatively when we talk to our customers. From PayPal in the payment processing industry, to Telstra as a telecom, to Northwell in healthcare, to the American Red Cross in the nonprofit sectors, what we see is all of our customers are being forced to run their businesses differently because of this shift or transition to remote work. And so to respond to this, we are introducing Project Oakdale. Project Oakdale is a built-in low-code data platform for Microsoft Teams. It provides a subset of the capabilities of the data platform, the Common Data Service, that we use behind Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform. It provides storage with rich data types and enterprise capabilities, along with one-click solution deployment for your applications in Teams. And it's included for every Teams customer and is fully governable by central IT. It allows you to build low-code Power Apps using tables right in Teams. Within Teams, users have an embedded app studio with an easy-to-use, no-code editable grid to build your data models, to build your tables. Out of the box, we provide you a way to, with low code, provide responsive layout that works across web, tablet, mobile, in a Teams native way. Also, as we do this, it's all themed so that it looks and feels just like it's a part of Teams. Now, this is built on top of the core of the Common Data Service, where Project Oakdale delivers relational data, image, and file data type support with up to 2 gigabytes of storage per team, which will support about 1 million rows of data. Data can be shared across multiple apps, flows, and chatbots within the same team. And if you need the full set of Common Data Service capabilities, it can be promoted to that full system in the future. And so if you're interested in this, all you need to do is check out the link that's on your screen. You can learn more today. On to our next topic. I'd like to talk a bit about how you can build rich applications with images and files. So first, we have improved image capabilities within the Common Data Service, where we support full-sized images, multiple images. They provide you with configurable primary images. Behind the scenes, we leverage heterogeneous storage using Blob and SQL. You don't have to worry about that. And now this is available for you in both Canvas and model-driven Power Apps. On top of this, we also have enhanced file capabilities with our file data type. This allows you to use files just like any other field with 0 to many files per records. You can have files on a record that are strongly typed. You don't need to work with attachments or notes if you're familiar with those things from your past time working with CDS. It leverages, once again, that heterogeneous storage technology behind the scenes, but you don't have to worry about that. And it's available in Canvas as well as model-driven Power Apps. So if you'd like to learn more about this, please feel free to check out the links that are on your screen right now. Moving on to our next section, I'd like to talk about smarter search. I'm so excited about this, and it's coming soon to an application near you. The first thing is we wanted to make search always discoverable, always available there in the top of the screen so that your users can quickly and easily always find the information that they need. Item number 2 is we're providing suggested results with auto completion, as well as a memory of most recently used or most recently visited records so that your users can quickly find what they are looking for or quickly navigate back to things that they've viewed in the past. We're also adding an enhanced results page so that you can clearly see different records by type with improved information density, once again, allowing users to very quickly and efficiently navigate to the data that they're seeking. We also have introduced detailed views, where if you need to drill into or find more results for a given table or a given entity in your system, you can do so. And as you do that, you can drill in, filter based on specific facets of that particular entity. Once again, making it easy for users to quickly find and locate the data that they are seeking. We've also added spelling correction so that if your users make typos or they misspell a complicated word or something like that, we're able to help them find the data that they need. We've also introduced support for synonyms, acronyms, as well as abbreviations so that it's easier than ever for your users to find data that's in the system. So I'd now like to move on to our next section, where I'm able to talk about a capability that's now generally available today, where we're looking to unify the Common Data Service and your Dynamics 365 operations apps. If we look at how the Power Platform and how our finance and operations applications have worked in the past, while they have interoperated, in many ways they've been largely separate, with investments such as Dual Write and Data Integrator and the F&O connector acting as a bridge between these two systems, but they weren't necessarily natively integrated with one another. And so what we've been doing over the last several months is making it possible for your finance and operations data to be exposed through CDS using a technology that we call virtual entities. You're able to say, I have a table in F&O, and I would like to make that entity accessible through the Common Data Service. Once that's done, it is accessible and available through the Common Data Service OData APIs. And what this allows you to do is build all of those different rich application types that we talked about earlier in today's session over the top of your finance and operations data. Now, one question that we get a lot is, hey, what's going to happen to all of the data that I've replicated between these systems in the past using dual write? Don't worry, that will continue to work just as it always has, and in some cases may actually be required for your scenario. So we view that this virtual entity technology as well as dual write are a harmonious set of technologies that will make it easier for you to build applications which span the Power Platform, the Dynamics 365 for sales, for customer service, for marketing applications, and the Dynamics 365 for finance and operations suite. If you'd like to learn more about this, if you follow the link on your screen, we have a great set of tech talks that are available for you to learn more about how we're bringing the Power Platform and finance and operations closer together. So for our next section, I'd like to talk a little bit more about how we're helping you analyze your data with Power BI and Direct Query. Now, when we look at how we've connected Power BI to the Common Data Service in the past, we've had a bunch of different ways of doing this. We've had import to Power BI. We've had data flows, which supported full sync to the data lake. We've had export to lake, which provides incremental sync to the data lake. And we've had, over the last several months in public preview, Direct Query. And I'm super excited about this, and I'd like to explain why. Why is Direct Query important? Number one is it provides real-time access to your data in Power BI from the Common Data Service. We believe that this is critical as businesses try to make rapid decisions based on data in near real time. The other thing that we see is that Direct Query allows us to provide excellent security, where the user's identity flows all the way through from the Power BI dashboard all the way to and through the Common Data Service, so that the values and the aggregates that they are shown within Power BI are trimmed based on the security model, the roles and permissions that they have within the Common Data Service. This allows you to rest well knowing that you are secure, as well as helps you make your employees more efficient by only showing them the data that is relevant to their specific roles and responsibility. Now, we've been in preview for a while here. What's new or what's different? I'm proud to announce the introduction of a new Common Data Service beta connector, which is now simpler than ever. If you go into Power BI, navigate to Power Platform, and then select the Common Data Service beta connector, it provides the simplest and best experience for interacting with your Common Data Service data via Direct Query. It allows you to select either import or Direct Query mode, at which point it will help you quickly and efficiently log in to the system. You can then select the entities which are of interest to you, and then once that is done, we will automatically generate for you an entity relationship diagram based on the relationships that are already in your data, making it very, very easy for you to build the dashboards in Power BI that you'd like to have over the top of your Common Data Service data. If you'd like to learn more about this, please follow the link on your screen. You can learn more there. Now, you might also be asking, well, hey, what about paginated reports? And that's a great question. We haven't forgotten about you either. I'm also proud to announce that we have a preview of using Power BI paginated reports over the top of CDS, where you can quickly and easily find your CDS data within the report builder so that you can build those paginated reports over the top of your CDS data using Direct Query. And if you'd like to learn more about that, please check out the link that's on your screen. Now, we've talked about Power Apps, we've talked a bit about Power Automate, we've talked about Power BI. You may be saying, but what about bots? What about Virtual Agent? Well, don't worry, we're getting there. You may be looking at like, well, hey, how do I connect my bots to the Common Data Service? It feels like they are on other sides of the spectrum from one another. Well, the thing is, Power Virtual Agents has excellent integration with Power Automate. And Power Automate has great integration with the Common Data Service. And so what I'd encourage you to do is do what so many of us are doing right now during these sometimes challenging times, which is go with the flow. Okay? Within Power Virtual Agents, you can very easily map a given skill or a given topic to interact with a flow, and that flow can use the native connectivity it has to the Common Data Service to automate the various interactions between your bot and the Common Data Service. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I hope you're as excited as I am about all of the new capabilities that we have in the Common Data Service, whether that is new capabilities around Project Oakdale and our integration with Teams, whether it is around our new enhanced file and image capabilities, our robust search capabilities, our deeper reporting options, or our integration with Power Virtual Agent through Power Automate. I hope that you're able to take this and that you're able to build new, rich, and immersive applications that change your business through the power of data. Thanks so much and have a good one.